Close your eyes and imagine the smell of rain on morning earth, fresh brewed chai, blooming peonies in a well-tended garden. Can you see it? Almost taste it? We use our senses to create home, the place where we feel joy and belonging. In life's journey, what we think of as our home evolves. We build new homes from our dreams, sacrifices, and journeys of miles and years. And for Indianapolis immigrants, home goes by many names. I'm Erica Irish, and in this podcast by the Indianapolis Public Library, we're learning what home means to Indy's immigrant community. Through their diverse lived experiences, we'll see how, rather than exchanging an old home for a new one, immigrants create a powerful new idea, that home is so much more than a place. Hello again to our dear listeners of More Than a Place. We're so happy to have you back with us. And today we have a really exciting guest, Koffi. He is going to talk to us about his amazing journey and fashion design, and being in Indianapolis and being an interpreter. So Koffi, it's so great to have you today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Koffi, what should the audience know about you? Who are you today here in 2023?
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me and also to give me the opportunity to speak up about a little bit about myself and also about the meeting. My name is Koffi, as you present me before. Koffi, first name and my last name is Koevi. I'm originally from West Africa, Togo. It's a small, tiny country between Ghana and Benin Republic. I'm 25 years, and I came in the United States in 2018. So basically, it's like 5 years right now. I'm living United States, specifically in Indianapolis. I came straight to Indianapolis. So Indiana is my first state and is where I am right now. About my background, I was studying anthropology of investigation in my country before I came in 2018. So I did not finish my graduation. I was close to the end, but my visa was about to due, so I have to leave. That's why I came to America without finishing my program. But here I start my school in 2020, and I get graduated for associate degree in applied science in cybersecurity. And I'm continuing right now at IUPUI for my bachelor degree. I have already worked with some of my peers, my classmates and colleagues in the past in different projects. Since anthropology was my major and it was my passion, so I work a lot with a different community and community issue in past and even currently. So I do speak different languages, some African language, and I speak a little bit of German. French is my first language because basically, like America, how you speak English, I studied from first grade to university in French. So French is like my first language technically. So I speak French correct. And English is just additional language. Maybe I might not be perfect in English, but I can do my best to communicate whatever I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I work. So since I speak French, I help a lot my community member, especially new member in Indianapolis, in that do not are not better in English now. So I help them at the beginning so they can get inserted in the culturally and at the language level as well. So I do that, and it's a part of my business too, because I I work with different artists, like artist painter and different kind of artists from Africa and other places. So I help them with language. I translated their language, and also I help them with building the business profile as far as concerning our work and different painting stuff.
And Koffi, if I can ask, so your business, you have an interpretation service where you help people with the language, and you also have the fashion side. Are those the same business or two separate things for you?
Oh yes, I'm gonna come to the fashion part. The fashion part is it was in 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic, where a lot of first of all, I find myself lose my first job, my first IT job in US. They have to reduce the team, so unfortunately, I was one of those people that find ourselves behind. And I was helping people in different, some of since I do translation and stuff like that, so I help a lot of our community member, new people that just came to the city or the country. So is where I find people getting more interested in buying the clothes stuff, the clothing stuff. So clothing was not my business originally. I never go to school for clothing.
Right.
But my mother, she was all about fabric and fashion. So I born and raised with my mom selling different quality of fashion. Like she's a fashion designer, and she sells different form of African fabric. So I know a little bit more about the fashion and those kind of stuff. And I help them to to get the product from Africa, from my mom business to here. So I find the market is a little bit more good, and also I find other people, like a different culture, people getting interested for my product. That's how I bring up my clothing line, and I start selling African brand clothing stuff in US. Beautiful. So it was not originally my business, but I just I find a way during the pandemic time.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of goes back to your first interest in anthropology. I mean, fashion as a form of cultural expression, and so part of that. Do you find as an anthropologist that fashion helps you to explore that part of your life?
Absolutely. Anthropology is is very a big file. So I just want to be a little bit more specific when it comes to cultural stuff. Maybe I might not be an expert, but just a little bit of an idea. When it comes to clothing is a part of our culture. And basically, as Lewandowski said, culture is what you have when everything leaves you. Like basically, if you lose everything, what is left is what we call culture. So clothing is a part of those things. The way you present yourself, the way you are as a person. And if I want to move further, is a little bit linked to something people can call religion. Religiosity. So they characterize some people specifically by the way they wear, like the way they dress.
Right.
So people, and that's how they talk about dressing appropriate, not appropriate. So those things is a culture, is a value that we express, and sometimes we can, basically. And in Africa, is a little bit at the high level that people find themselves, by being in certain type of way, like a wearing certain type of attire. If you see them, you will know that this person is from kingdom, he's from a king family or king descent, or you can know that he's from descent of agriculture or this. So
wow.
He have a lot of meaning behind, and he have a high dedicated file in anthropology for clothing related to culture.
It's amazing. As far as the clothing you've started to create with your mother, what's her name?
My mother is Victoria.
Yeah. So with the clothing you've started to create with her, in partnership with her, can you describe to our listeners what what it tends to look like what's kind of the style that you're creating and hoping to achieve.
Okay. So basically, when it comes to the clothing, my mom is more based on some authentic African clothing. So they have a different quality of fashion. You can, like, for example, let's say that the fabric that the regular fabric that I just wear, they have another level, like another quality that is more traditional, is a handmade from the cotton. Like they take the cotton traditionally, they use their hand to, to make the fabric. And that one is completely different, is a little bit more expensive. And they use those in special occasion, like for some celebration, for some traditional festival, or like some unique event in life of people buy that, and it costs more money. So my mom, provide those kind of things. And if you are looking for some quality and you don't want to be, you don't want to get in hand of people to get the fake one or stuff like that. So a lot of people relate to that's how my mom have a relationship in Mali, in other countries as well. So as far as concerning those lines specifically, my mom business is basically more African authentic traditional fabric. She does sell some of the fabric like this because people can buy, it's not that expensive, so people can buy. And this one is like a example of industrial production, so they sell that as well. But she basically sell. And I can give one example. There's when I was at Ivy Tech in 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic, one of my friend, his name is Derek. He is about to marry, so he told me that he want to do something a little bit different, and he wants to have an African traditional wedding. He's American, so basically we have a conversation with my mom. We set up a Zoom meeting and stuff like that, and we came up with a different form of fabric that they did not buy all of them. They rent some of them, but they buy most of it, and they do have a pretty good wedding with those attire. And
wonderful.
Yeah. So basically, it's not just about clothes, or sometimes the fabric, the way they wear it. I wish I can show you some video, but.
Well, and Sakura showed me your Instagram page with some of the designs, and it's just very colorful and vibrant was like the first word that came to mind for me. So we can definitely share that in the comments for listeners.
Okay. And for that specific Instagram page, we do have a trouble, because normally we have a web page called OPA. Then we have some specific problem because our web host was, we have a little trouble with iCloud. Have to remove it from there, and we lost some of our information. But about the one I was talking about, the one that is a little bit more expensive, and I was talking about earlier, is if you order it, it can take a little bit of time. It can take up to 3 weeks or like 1 month before they can make it, because it's not industrial. People use it to make it, so
it's handmade.
Yeah. So it take a little bit more time, and I can send you the picture of some of it after the.
Yeah, please. Yeah, we'd love to share it and get it more in front of people. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Awesome. Well, Koffi, thank you for exploring the fashion side of your life. I'd love to go back to your time in Togo. So you didn't migrate into Indianapolis until 2018. When you're living in Togo, for people who've never been there, what do you remember about it? What do you love about it? What stands out in your mind when you think about your life there?
Okay, thank you so much. I used to say, if it was not a support of some of my friends and also some of our elders that was here, I was about to go back to Togo 3 months after I came to United States, because before we came to America, we have something they call American Dream, where we have a different view of America, where everything is easy. You can get job, money, and everything, without knowing like that we're going to have some cultural differences, and we're going to have different conditions like weather and all the different conditions that we're going to face. So when I came here, is a lot of things that I find different, and I have to learn to get adapt to it and view it in like in the hand of diversity, instead of finding it as a something that is opposed to me. So one of the example of those things that always remind me when I think about home is food. Basically, some of when even right now when I'm talking about it, I can imagine, I cannot remember some
it's powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is some specific food that I miss all the time, and I can even tell you that I buy tickets to go back home sometime just
for the food.
just for those food. And food is one of the things, and second is some of the celebration, like they have like not natural but cultural celebration from some ethnicity group celebration. They have it is very diverse. For example, Togo is a small country, but we have 45 languages, right? 45 traditional languages. But all of those traditional languages, they have some things in common that they do celebration, and we get together to celebrate it, and to enjoy together.
What do those celebrations look like? Is it like a festival, or?
It's a festival. Like for example, let us talk about a festival we call it. So, like in my language, Ajinukuzan is basically a festival celebration of the first harvest. For example, it's the time that agriculture, like people that do agriculture, they produce food. The first of the food, the fresh food came up. So when they receive that, they celebrate. They have a celebration where is like they thank God. It's like what we can call Thanksgiving in America, but a little bit different. They do that celebration to celebrate what they have, like what the land offer to them as a food to feed the population. And during those moments is a great moment that we share time together with family, and we talk. And sometimes also the power that it have is that it brings people together. So, for example, the educational system, I'm not going to say it's completely different than the educational in Togo. Is completely different than here in America. So, for example, when I went to university, I have to leave, all of my friends, my family member, and be alone by myself at Lome. But during those celebrations, I have to come back to the village and to have a great time. And when I come back to village, I meet new people that I don't even know that is some of our family members. So we come together and we share plate food together, and not just a food together, but we talk about, connections. We talk about who we are as a people, and we do different activity. Like they have some of the awesome traditional dance. I will present you the dance they call Bobobo in Togo. Is a very great. I wish people can, people can make a research about it and see, So
have you done this dance?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Is a basically. And those dances, they are so powerful that you can see even like a high level, like people in the country, like a minister, like a president, even. Like if he hear the sound of that music, you're going to see him, he's going to start moving. That's how you know that he's Togolese. Like just by hearing the song, he can start moving. He can start, he can feel it. He feel a connection. So, those things remind me of home all the time. And if I'm if I'm driving or I go somewhere and I hear people talk or I hear people playing some of those kind of music, I knew that those people are specifically from there, and I can feel it. I can, just without even asking a question, I can start speaking my language to them and basically most of the time they reply back. So I knew that they're from there. And also, another thing that Mark me also remind me of home is what we call the dry season. Is a season that is a hot, like it get very, very hot, so people cannot go to the farm anymore. Like it's a time that people stay home, wait for the rain to start doing agriculture, like people that do agriculture, and also other people that do activity that necessitates and a cold weather, or like a season of agriculture products. They stay home. So during those times, we used to stay out together, and this is so great. Is a part of our education. It's not just a culture, but it's more than culture. It's education. Is a form of competition that they use to stimulate a little kids knowledge about intelligence, to start understanding things at the level of adults, to become an adult. And is something we call, in French they call it count. Is is like I don't know the specific word that I can use in English to describe it.
Yeah.
Basically, is like, for example, they will ask you that I've seen a ton of people that get are buried in just one how you call it, like one box, and it's something to say that it's safety matches. They can say something like basically is like a proverb, but they tell you the thing is a little bit complex. So you got to think outside the box to understand that what that can be associated with.
Oh, like a metaphor?
Can you repeat it, please?
Like a metaphor, like...
Yeah, what we can call metaphor, but it's more than metaphor. Is a very big deal, like a very big competition, but it's not competition for people to win. It's a stimulation, like intelligence stimulation competition. So most of the time, certain people of certain age don't involve into it, because our grandparents, like my grandmother and my grandfather, what they do is that when we finish those seasons, so we go to them. So they're going to tell you about story about what happened in the past, like how they met together, how they discover things. They will tell you different story. Sometimes they're going to involve animal, how, they will tell you about the greatness, how it is very important for you to be kind to people. So they will tell you a lot of story. But before that, we stay together, sometimes teenager and a little boy and girls. We stay together around fire, like they put wood together, and they put fire on it. So the flame can give you light during the night, sometime around from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Wow.
So we all stay around those weather. And we have sometimes yams or other food that they cook in that wood, and everyone have it. And you guys gonna start talking. So they will form something like a group of people. The person will give the what I can call the allocution. They will tell they will say the thing that's like a metaphor. So the other group have to think to find the solution. So if you did not find the solution, and then they tell you what is the solution, then that means they are over you. You have to do your best to get over it. Like you have to give something that is more stronger. So they cannot find the solution. So you could give the solution. So
you have to trick them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, it was such a great time and an amazing time for my childhood that I can never forget.
It's so creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's a story, if you had like a top moment, like whether it was you being tricked or you tricking someone else, or a really good story you told? What do you remember?
Absolutely. So let me tell you this. The problem about that is people that come from the biggest city, like if I come from, so they think that you don't know anything, like basically everything you know is about school, is about, computer, is about, you're going to talk about what you call intellectual stuff. So like you lose your value, you don't, because the problem also that we are fighting against, I'm not going to say against, is personally, my line, I believe that before you get something from someone, be someone or have something for yourself. So basically, I support diversity instead of throwing his culture away and go and focus on other people's culture. I don't know if it makes sense. So basically, what I mean by that is a lot of our elders that go to university and stuff like that, when they come back to village or when they come back during those celebrations, sometimes some of them want to do things like the way they learn it from book. So they find while we are doing some of those things we find, they always want to find the mistake about what other people do. So people find a separation, division. So they get themselves away, and all the time, if you come back, they're gonna put that tag on you first before they realize that no, you're still interested in what you was doing before, and you find that So I was a kind of one of those that when I come back, I always have to fight first of all to convince them that
you've changed.
Yes, I always have to fight to convince them that I'm still with them. I want to, I want to learn and I want to do so. I always look for the best team, people that I knew that they are very strong. When they come to, they have a good create. So I'm always on the good team, not for the failure to now fail. If I knew that time that failure is a great is a great opportunity to learn, I will always go maybe to the opposite side, then I will be more better. But I have such a great opportunity to meet amazing people that they are in different files right now in their adulthood. And one of the things that marked me for those nights is one of the time is just one single. It comes to one single point that they was talking about. They say the person say, I went to a city and everyone was on their knee. So basically, that one is the direct meaning of that is culturally is something related to agriculture. So to produce yam, they used to create something we call it in French sillon. So basically, they put the soil together. They put the soil together, so they put the yam inside, so the yam can grow and give you a bigger and more yams.
I see.
So
a yam inside another yam, to clarify.
No, like a yam. If you want to produce yam, then you have to put the soil together. Then you put a part of the yams, the original yams that you have. You're going to cut the head of it because it's where the seeds come from. I see. So you put it, So you put that in those soil you put together so it can grow. So basically, they make that lot in the farm. So if you go into the farm, you can see that a lot of those soil together is like a people under their knee. So saying that you go to the city and all you can find is the people under their knee is basically those yam soil. It was so difficult for us to find. And instead of finish at 9 p.m., we stay very long turning around. And because of that, they keep rounding, giving other complicated,
I see. I mean, I would think people were praying if you said that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it takes us a very long time to figure out what can be the possible answer. So those moments are just such a great moment. And
love that. More Than a Place is made possible by the Indianapolis Foundation Library Fund through a grant to the Indianapolis Public Library Foundation. I wanted to ask you, since you're almost 5 years into being here in Indianapolis, where do you consider to be home at this point? And what makes it home for you?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Is a great question, and I really appreciate that. For me, I define a home, that place where you can find peace, like when everything is against you. Place that if you go out there, like you go doing things, that you're always going to come back and everything that is hurting you going to be calm. In philosophy, they used to talk about cathartic, like something that can give you a healing, something that can be a comfort for you. So that comfort, that place of healing, that place of in French we say recueillement, the place that you restore yourself, you become you became yourself, is what I can define as a home, and is what I think, in my personal opinion, that one is a home. So right now, with my little experience, I knew that to make a place your home, to make a house or a place your home, it requires some works.
Right.
It requires some work, and it requires also about your capacity of adaptability to situation and how you can turn the situation into your good. Like how you can find a way to adapt that to your personal life and still be great with it. So one of the example is all the time when I go back to Africa, Indianapolis is calling me. Because of my people, like my relationships. Sometimes just, after school, some of my classmates, we go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Together. And we don't have that in Africa. We do have other great things, like I just talked about, and different many great things, but we do have some specificity that catch my heart and catch my attention that I like. And I just find myself, be more interested about. And I've already traveled to other places in United States, not to live there, but sometimes I go to Kentucky for 2 weeks, 3 weeks with a friend. I went to Los Angeles before, and I went to other cities as well. But all the time, if I get there, at the end of the day, I find myself, I need to come back to Indianapolis. Yeah, because of, the vibe that I get sometimes. Like, for example, my environment in my apartment, where I rent the apartment, my neighbors. So, for example, when people leave, like when you order something and people leave it at your door.
Yeah. DoorDash, Uber.
Most of the time, I'm sure that, and if you receive the notification, you come, you do not find your thing, you know that your neighbor get it. So that kind of neighborhood that I always get, I don't know, but it was great. It's something very amazing that they always get your back. When you come back, you knew that,
people look out for each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood. So it's the things that I really cherish and I appreciate. And that one make me feel comfortable, feel more safe, and feel more integrated. Like I feel like I'm a part of this community. I'm part of these people. I'm their people. So it make me knew that I'm home. I'm in my family.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a complicated question and really key to the stories we're telling in this. So yeah, thank you for explaining that. I want to go back. Earlier you talked about how much you love food. Like that's sometimes a guiding may not the reason to go back to Togo, but a really good reason to go visit. What specific food or drink, as soon as you taste it, as soon as you drink it, reminds you of home, of Togo?
Palm wine.
Plum wine?
Palm wine.
Palm wine.
Yeah. They have a specific palm wine that if you taste it, you knew that this one is made in Togo.
What does it taste like?
It just tastes like, it's a little bit not sour, not that much sour. It's sweet and sour. Sweet and sour.
Is it strong?
It's not that much strong.
Strong.
I can say that is like if we can compare the alcohol level, because in Togo we can, like for example, the village I came from, we do not have to test anything because we get it straight from from the farm. And I forgot to talk about my father's side. My father is a director of school. He's a elementary school school principal.
Oh.
So and he have a business as well, and his business is about palm wine line. So that palm, so I knew about the different form of palm wine. Some of them are stronger. If you want it to be stronger, you have to to put it in the container, close it, and let it more stay for longer. Then the concentration is gonna get high. But I love the sweet one, the sweetest one, sweet and a little bit sour. So basically, when we collect it fresh in the morning, in the afternoon, it's good for me. It's good to go.
Mm.
So that smell, and also is a specific food we call ebesesi. Is something they make with a tomato, fresh tomato, and fish, like a mackerel. Or we have a lot of fish in Togo, different variety of fish that some of them I never find even right here. Right. So they make what we call akume. Other people call it, other African call it fufu as well.
Yeah.
So they make that, but with salt fish, when they are cooking the salt fish, even at 1 mile away, you can smell it. You can know that this one is and I just love it.
Mm.
I just love it. And that one also always reminds me of home. And it's one of the things I buy ticket to go back home.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I'm sure you've seen it in just the last few years. Indianapolis has been growing a lot, adding many more international restaurants, markets than we used to have. Are there any places you try to go to in Indy to sample some of this food?
Oh yes, absolutely. I used to go sometime to Echo African restaurant, like a EKO, and they do have a pretty good West African gastronomy as well, and they have a lot of Nigerian particularity, but they do their best always to adapt that to a different flavor in West Africa. So it's such amazing things, and I appreciate their effort. Always, if I really want to eat something African, the first restaurant that pop up in my head is Echo. And also we have a different small restaurant as well. Like for example, me and one of my friends, we was thinking about creating a platform, but that platform was working mechanically without a software already.
Well, thank you for talking about food, one of my favorite parts of these conversations. So people listening to this, they're going to come from all backgrounds, but we're hoping to also speak to other immigrants who are here in Indianapolis and finding their way. Yeah. What advice do you have for them?
Okay. My unique advice is first, do not forget why you came to America, like you came to Indianapolis, and always knew that Indianapolis is opportunity, and they don't have opportunity out there, like what people always say, that there's a lot of opportunity in America. Do not think that way, because when you are not finding the right opportunity fitting your condition, then you're going to start complaining. You're going to start finding yourself not in there. And it happened to me. Take Indianapolis as an opportunity where you can show what you are or who you are as a person and what you can offer. So once you take Indianapolis as an opportunity, Indianapolis will take you and show you and make you very useful for other people. And by being useful for other people, you're going to find yourself being yourself and find that peace, that internal peace that you won't find anywhere else. So Indianapolis, I don't think that you have opportunity, but it's opportunity. And if you think that way, it makes you more comfortable.
It's a mindset shift. I love it.
Sure.
And then Koffi, since we're the library, we wanted to be sure to highlight any books that our guests are reading, or not just books, it can be documentaries or great resources that are on your mind. Do you have a favorite book that's really helped you in your journey, or that you just love?
Yes. When it comes to a book, one of the book I really love is but it's a French book. The title is La Victime de Emmanuel Dogbe. Yeah, it's a life story book, and it's something deal a lot with literature. But it teaches a lot about, how to behave and how to view things in life, and difficulty, like the world of what we call the Bicefar world, the world of two does not really exist, and both of them always go together, and they are all unique. So sometimes you can wake up and be sick, and sometimes you can wake up and feel great, and both of them are together. They work together. They are good together. And if you are trying to pick a good from bad, then you're always gonna make your why you can call your bad days horrible. And you're always going to be looking for, but both of them go together to make who you are as a person. You are great today because yesterday you struggled learning things. So that book is a very powerful book and very great book. It talks about love also between people and the difficulty they can find on the way. So it's one of the books that I never forget and I love.
And say it's very, very important, the duality, right? Like there is no happiness without sadness. Those ideas can teach all of us something. Yeah. Koffi, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, learning more about Togo and your journey here in Indianapolis. Just thank you so much for being part of this and sharing your story.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. Hi, everyone. It's Erica, and you're listening to More Than a Place, a podcast by the Indianapolis Public Library, produced in partnership with Kendall Antron of the Made in Indy podcast. We couldn't tell the unforgettable stories of our community without your generous support. Thank you for spending your time with us. To learn more about Indy immigrant leaders like Koffi, visit IndyPL.org/morethan-a-place. Thanks for listening.